Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're breaking down how to analyze a narrative. We're going to use a specific assignment as our guide, but trust me, the tools we're about to uncover, you can use them on any story you come across, whether it's a classic novel or your favorite binge watch on TV.
Every story is kind of like an iceberg. What we see on the surface, that's the plot, the action, the stuff that happens. But the real magic, the vast majority of it, is under the water. That's the deeper meaning, the how and the why. And that's the good stuff we're going to learn how to find today.
So the big question is, how do you actually get to that deeper meaning? Okay, let's dive right into it. We're going to take a set of instructions for an assignment and turn them into a super practical toolkit that you can use on pretty much any story. Here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the challenge itself. Then we'll talk about your first move, how to get started. After that, we'll explore 3 lenses for analysis, move on to what happens beyond just agreeing with people, and finally, wrap up with the skill you're actually building through all this. Let's get to it. First up, the challenge. So our subject today is a personal story about friendship and memory called Palcoholics. And our mission, should we choose to accept it, is to analyze it, to find that story that's hiding behind the story. All right, section 2, your first move. The assignment kicks off with a short, focused post. The whole idea here is not to write a giant essay. Nope, it's about making one sharp, clear argument that's backed up by a single, solid piece of evidence. And the process for this breaks down into 4 really simple steps. First, you pick out a specific quote from the story. Then, you briefly explain its context. What's going on around it? Next, and this is absolutely the most important part, you analyze its deeper meaning. And the golden rule through all of this? Do not just summarize the plot.
And this right here is the most crucial distinction to make. Summary just tells you what happened. It's like reading the back of a DVD case. But analysis, that's the detective work. It explores the how and the why. For instance, a summary of Palcoholics might say, the friends drink together. Okay, sure. But analysis asks, why did they drink? Did it actually bring them closer, or did it just create an illusion of closeness? See the difference? Your job is to be the detective, not just the court reporter.
Now for section 3, the 3 lenses. Now this is where it gets really interesting. Instead of just a general, go analyze this prompt, the assignment gives you 3 specific angles, or lenses, to choose from. Each one focuses on a different theme in the story. So your first lens is called Love Without Language. It zeroes in on this moment where the narrator really struggles to say, I love you to his friend. The prompt is basically asking, what does this super awkward moment reveal about bigger ideas, like masculinity and how hard it can be to express our emotions? The second lens uses alcohol to investigate friendship and memory. It's not just about what they're drinking, but about what the drinking does. Does it help them connect? Does it make things clearer? Or does it just distort their whole connection? You get to dig into that tension. And the third option, this one is all about perspective. See, the narrator is looking back on his youth, but is he seeing it with fondness, through that classic filter of nostalgia? Or maybe, is there a more critical, skeptical view of the past going on? Your job is to find the evidence for both sides. This table just lays it all out perfectly. You've got your 3 options, love and masculinity, alcohol and friendship, memory and nostalgia. And for each one, there's a core theme and a central question. It's a fantastic illustration of how you can approach the very same story from 3 completely different but equally valid angles. Okay, let's talk about section 4, beyond agreeing. Because you know what? Analysis isn't a solo sport. The next part of the assignment involves engaging with what 2 of your peers wrote. This is where analysis stops being just an assignment and starts becoming a real conversation.
So what makes a strong reply? Well, it's not just saying, hey, great post. A strong reply actively builds on the original idea. It engages with it, it extends it. Maybe it asks a new question, or it connects their point to a totally different part of the story. The goal is always to build, not just approve.
Think of the conversation like a campfire. The moves on the left, questioning, extending, connecting, those are like throwing another log on the fire. They make it bigger and brighter. The moves on the right, just agreeing, restating, summarizing, that's like dumping water on it. The conversation just fizzles out. Your goal is always to be adding more fuel. And finally, section 5, the skill you're building. So why does any of this matter?
Well, I promise you, it's about way more than just this one assignment. It's about developing a seriously powerful skill for the real world. What you're really learning how to do is to shift from being a passive consumer of stories to being an active participant in understanding them. You're training your brain to look deeper, to question the surface-level narrative, and to articulate complex ideas. And that's a skill you can use whether you're looking at a novel, a film, or even a news report. I think the biggest takeaway here is that good analysis isn't about finding one single right answer. It's about starting a better, richer conversation. It's a tool for curiosity. So I'll just leave you with this question to chew on. What conversation will you start next?